same with the flooring, learning as much as I could and being the best at it. I mean, or at least trying to be the best at what I could provide. Then in the Christina collection, our goal was to have the best product in that product range of SPC, stone, plastic, composite flooring, right? So then from that point, I would have never imagined that we'd have 1,400 dealers in a year and a half.
What?
And, throughout the U.S.
That's wild.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces.
Yeah. We're back. We're back again.
We're back.
I like how I was always like, yeah, we're back. We're back.
Yeah, we're still here. Hopefully you guys are still here too.
This is the Lambo and Leroy show.
The one and only.
One and only. Sean, Leroy, Sean. Who we got today, man?
We've got a good friend of mine. We've been friends, going over 20 years, probably even more than 20 years.
Yep.
And Jesse Kovach, our friendship started with him just door knocking, trying to obtain business for he had a detail business. He had a new trailer, built the trailer up, put it all together, and he had his red Chevy at the time.
Yep.
Yes.
And he's just, born, I don't know if you're born in Corona, but raised in Corona, right?
Raised in Corona, yeah.
Raised in Corona and just smashing around trying to get business. And we're the same age. We're at the same time. Like,
What year was this?
2000 probably.
Yep.
Oh, this is like mobile
2001?
detailing was not even a thing yet.
No, there was a
Some
few
people
guys
doing
in the
it?
game, exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't everyone doing it because it took hard work, right? To detail the stuff. And, he started there washing stuff. I remember my dad just had his Prevos at the time. And we were
Sick.
I'm like, look, this is like a 45-foot by 10-foot Lamborghini. You have to be careful with it. And so once you got trust with that, and we had all of our big lifted trucks, everything. You didn't just let just anyone wash your shit,
For
right?
sure.
And from there, Jesse just used that as a seed and grew it to now. Between all your businesses, how many people do you currently employ? It's over 100, right?
Yeah, we have over 100 employees in three separate
gosh.
businesses, and then another business coming up that we're working on. We've been working on for almost 3 years now.
Insane.
But yeah, it did start in the old school days, just door knocking, and that's how Sean and I met. And his family gave me an opportunity to literally wash their cars. That's how I started out in any type of business, and went from washing cars to then going out to Havasu and washing the boats and washing all their stuff. And then, continued to work in the mobile detailing business and my little business, and then ended up selling it to one of my buddies.
Well, prior to that, though, I don't know if it was a dick move on my part, or maybe I thought it was kind of maybe doing a favor, because I had that big lifted red Chevy on 44s, 49s at the time, and it was a rainy day like it is today out there, and we were going to do a photo shoot, right? I'm like, hey, dude, you want to come with me? And we're going to go take this big truck, all chrome, powder coat, everything, and go smash in the mud. And he ended up coming with me. And I'm like, I don't know if it was a dick move. We went out there and just fucking covered this thing in mud. And then went back and said, all right, dude, well, get her all cleaned up.
That was the worst. It was so much fun. We I think that was
had
for
a blast doing it.
Yeah, that was for a cover photo shoot,
cover of
right?
Off-Road Magazine, yeah.
And
Epic.
with the day before, I detailed it up. The thing was fresh, perfect. The next day, it's raining. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna go do this photo shoot. You want to go?" I'm like, "Oh, all right, let's go." We get out in the mud, and literally, the whole truck. By the time we were done, it was completely covered.
No, dude.
It took me 8 hours to wash that truck the next day.
That's miserable.
We jumped on the freeway after where we were for the next 5 miles, just sending mud
just flying
30,
everywhere.
40 feet in the air behind it.
I'm sure clumps just falling out too.
But it's so crazy thinking back to that day. It was a long time ago, but that was not introduction to motorsports, but getting in that environment and going to SEMAs with Sean and doing different things in the motorsports world. That was a fun day, but then at the same time for me, being a little mobile detailer, washing cars, to now, being on a cover of this off-road magazine and, my hard
a big
work.
step for you.
Yeah, my hard work and just, literally being a detailer to then now I'm over here with Sean in this photo shoot, doing all the things. It was a fun time, and it was actually a cool reflection on damn, hard work does pay off.
Absolutely.
Well, and it was back
Always.
in the time when like, it was probably some of the best times of our lives because we weren't worried about the future.
True.
We weren't worried about like the mortgages and politics or anything. We were just worried about having fun. And all we did, like our main drive and focus in life was, let's go have fun.
And we had a lot of fun.
And we had a ton of fun. And I think it's important for us as we get older to get back to that. But now from that led you to multiple paths, right? I mean, was it before Del Amo that you had the go-kart store, the go-kart shop?
Yeah, so we had after the
Or
detail,
a moped.
Yeah, after the detail business, I sold it to one of my buddies, then started a little GoPed, little mini moto shop.
Nice, dude.
Had that for years. Did a lot of business with GoPed. Did their freestyle team. We had our own little freestyle team that we traveled all over the Western United
you're our
States.
age
Dude,
too.
I was a big GoPed guy, man.
GoPeds were awesome back in the day.
I had a Bigfoot, man. I love that thing.
And we did the whole race, like the little race circuit for
Yep.
GoPeds. Who would have known? And then, fast forwarding, once all the China bikes and things like that came into effect, and then GoPed legislated for a long time with California to be able to make those things street legal.
Yeah.
And then all the other bikes came in. GoPed's business went down big time. Therefore, our business went down. Ended up shutting the business. I'll never forget this. I had $40,000 of credit debt, or Amex credit card debt with my mom, and we had to pay that loan off. Pay the credit card off, right? That was like the last $40,000 I had to my name.
Shit.
Like I at that point was dead broke. One of my buddies said, "Hey, over at Del Amo Motorsports, they're hiring sales guys. You've been in sales." I mean, at that point, I was still young.
Well, guys, Del Amo Motorsports too is probably the largest, if not one of the largest, ATV, marine, dirt bike, side by side dealership in Southern California, right?
At that time, they had the dealership in Redondo Beach.
Yes.
And I was living in Corona. So
man.
I went down there, interviewed, and ended up getting the second interview. And my old boss, David Nadler, says, "Hey, when can you start?" And at that point, I'm literally like dead broke. I mean, I probably had
like,
$300, $400 in my bank account.
Started yesterday.
Like, well, I'm hungry, so can I start now?
Because like I said, I mean, literally we had that $40,000 of debt, and that just wiped me clean at a young age. I think at that point I was 23, something like that.
Man.
So went down to Del Amo my first day, and literally got there. I was the first one there, right? So we opened. We had to be there at 9. I think I drove from Corona. I was there at like 8:15.
Yes. You're like, I'm not going to be late.
I'm not. No, absolutely not.
Traffic sucks.
First day, Saturday meeting. Everybody's pumped up. I'm the new guy, right? So then from that point, I started, in sales, and I just worked my butt off, man. There was guys that would be walking around. I'd be running back and forth through the showroom, and being the fact that I had no money, and all I could really afford at that time was like gas money to get to Redondo Beach from Corona, which was, I don't know, 65 miles each way or something like that, right?
That's wild.
So every day, driving
It's
back
through
and
the
forth.
heartbeat of the worst traffic probably in the nation.
100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, talk about just the work experience. I worked there for the first 3 months I worked there. I worked every single day.
Wow.
90 days straight, to the point where the other sales manager made it a rule that you couldn't work on your day off because I was poaching on their team, right? So they literally made it
Start getting mad at you.
like a store meeting, like, oh, the teams can't work on their days off, blah, 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 blah. And from that point, like the work ethic of just learning and the training that they implemented with me, and just the whole team over there rode me like a racehorse. And from that point on, I really started to learn more and more about the industry, and not just selling the products, but learning all about the products. And obviously, I've being in the industry prior to riding dirt bikes, going out to Havasu, boating, riding my whole young life, it gave me an opportunity to really understand the business from not only enjoying the products, but then now we're selling them.
Well, and we're going to get our good friend, your old boss, everything, David, in here soon. So I don't want to ask too many questions and stuff. But since we're on that topic, like when someone goes in to go buy a dirt bike at like a Del Amo or someone like that, and you're like doing the grinding and stuff, is there really room to kind of grind people down? I mean, can you go in there and like really walk away getting a good deal, or is it really kind of, it is what it is?
Well, remember,
Yes, price it.
I think I started out there in 2006, and I would have, you fast forward to today where dirt bikes are like 14 grand, right?
Serious.
Yeah.
They were $4,500 then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were like, I think MSRP on a 450 was like right around $7,000. But with dirt bikes and the products like on dirt, there's not too much wiggle room. Right?
Okay.
And the fact that we were a store in Redondo Beach, it's not like we were like the master seller,
Killing
like
it with dirt bikes.
Yeah, like a Malcolm Smith or like a Chaparral. I mean,
Selling more Vespas or Honda like scooters.
yeah, everybody knew in the industry, like especially with Chaparral's support to the industry as well, like you would go buy a dirt bike from out there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a harder sale selling
I'm sure.
dirt bikes at the beach.
Yeah, for sure.
No shit.
But at the same time, the different products that we sold, there was a lot of different, street bikes, personal watercraft, UTVs, etc. But the dirt world was not so much at Redondo. But then at the same time, we still being in the meetings and understanding what we were selling and how many units we had to sell per day or per weekend, we still sold a lot of dirt shit. I mean, a lot of different dirt products.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so, I mean, you really had to, going into that, what were you surprised at like the high pace environment and the standards that were set for you that you had to meet? Was it surprising, or were you kind of like, did you know that's what it was going to be like when you walked into it?
I mean, it was such a high pace environment, and the customer service side of the business is sometimes not spoken about, right? So Del Amo's point was to really take care of the customers as if they were, really special, and not just treat them like, hey, you want to buy a bike or whatever. I mean, I'd have customers coming in going, hey, I'm walking to the parts department, and from a sales perspective, you're supposed to be like, oh, okay, hands off.
Yeah.
But we'd walk them back there, and what kind of bike you ride?
Yeah, make sure.
That's
what
cool.
type of family? Like the family environment. Oh, I got a CRF 450. Oh, awesome. You guys going out this weekend? So it was a little bit different.
Like, we're going to continue spending a lot of money on parts, but I got this great deal on this new one. 100%.
Trade that thing in?
Yeah, and actually, we actually sold units that way. But
That's
I think it was coming from the customer service perspective of not just coming in and, oh, you want a bike? It wasn't like that. It was more or less, especially with Pablo and Scott, it was, the owners of Del Amo, it was just, treat everybody special.
Yeah.
And we did our best.
Now, being like a salesman there, right? Obviously a salesman is like kind of the heartbeat of a shop like that. What was your relationship like with the owners? Were they involved with you guys? Do you have a good relationship, or?
Yeah. So Pablo and Scott, Scott was the founder of Del Amo back in the day. They were like a little 2,000 square foot shop in Torrance. Then they moved to the building off the 405
Which
freeway.
is right next to that 40 Parts, right?
Yeah. Now they were at the 4-wheel, like next to the 4-wheel parts right off the 405 in Inglewood. And when they got the bigger building, I think they had purchased it or started renting it 2 years before I started working there.
And that's the one in Orange County?
Redondo Beach.
Oh, Redondo.
Orange County
that's
55.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So, now think about it. When I started there was one dealership. Now they have 6 dealerships across the Southern California region.
Damn, they blew up fast.
Wow.
So,
and then they got Burt's Mega Mall's huge, but there's almost no slouch right there on 55.
It's
huge. Yeah.
And so, with me, I guess, we had other sales guys that really worked their butts off as well. But, Scott was the founder and he was there, but Pablo was much more present and there on a daily basis. Like, it was literally his day job. He was there every single day.
That's cool.
And I caught a really good friendship and relationship as an owner with Pablo from the get-go. And he really saw something in me that, today in the position I am in, I guess I see certain things with certain employees as well, like he saw in me. Mm-hmm. And we had a really special relationship. I think I was working there for 6-7 months and he took me up in his helicopter.
Wow.
And that was...
And at that point, you probably never been in a helicopter before, right?
I had not been in a helicopter besides being in a life flight helicopter at 2.5 years old. But other than that...
It's a little different.
Exactly. 100% different.
Yeah.
It was actually there, enjoying it. But I'll never forget that when he... asked me if I wanted to go in the heli.
That's
and
so sick, though.
Of course, it was like,
because that's
absolutely.
that's like the pinnacle at that point. It's like, going in a helicopter. This is insane.
and then at the same time, it was like during one of the work days where he's like, hey, you want to go in the heli? And I'm like, heck yeah.
Did you guys fly out from Del Amo too?
No, we that would be awesome. But
Yeah.
we flew out from Torrance Airport, which is a local smaller airport.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget being there with him, going into the hangar, pulling the heli out, him showing me all the different things about the heli. At that time, he had a Robinson. The smaller 4-passenger, and it was,
which is awesome still.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And so
where'd you guys go?
We ended up flying from Torrance, and we were going to kind of take a coastal route. Talk about never forgetting this. we ended up going through the San Pedro area, overlooking all the containers, and everything seemed so surreal. You know, when flying up, we're kind of flying low altitude, and we ended up going under the Vincent St. Thomas Bridge.
I thought you were in an airplane, a helicopter.
A helicopter, and honestly, I'll never forget that as well. You know, looking back, like, hey, are we supposed to be doing this, sir? And he's like, absolutely not.
I mean, I can't imagine.
That's unreal.
There's probably maybe only been a handful of people in the life of the bridge that have actually done that.
It was talk about, you know, going to work to sell some motorcycles that day to, hey, do you want to ride in the heli, to, hey, we're going under the Vincent St. Thomas Bridge. I would have never expected that.
Well,
That bridge is so iconic too.
It is. And the Vincent Thomas Bridge, it's not like it's a huge bridge. It's not like you're flying under the Golden State Bridge, right? Like it's a bridge, obviously, even big
but
containers.
It's not
that big. Like when you're in a helicopter, it probably
There's
feels
not that much
big.
Well, that day was a learning lesson that he was a very good pilot.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Thankfully.
No doubt.
Yeah, thankfully.
Well, that's awesome. So now from Del Amo, where did you go from there?
So at the point where I was at Del Amo Motorsports, I worked there for about 8 years. I moved up to sales manager and, you know, worked my butt off to get to that point. Again, the team saw some certain things in me and I had the opportunity to become a sales manager.
Well, now, real quick before we go to you, in 8 years, you went from, you know, bottom of the barrel sales guy, new guy, to sales manager.
Yep.
If you could give anyone advice, or like my son, your daughter, or any of the young kids
How'd you
out
do
there
it?
in that 8 years, what is like just one bit of advice you could get them to get from that point to there?
I would say, honestly, outwork every single person in the building. And for me, I made it a point to show up the first person there and the last person to leave. And I think a lot of people saw a little something in me, and the opportunity was there, and ended up being a sales manager there for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just never pass up opportunity.
yeah, it was cool, man. I think the experience that I had at Del Amo and the people that literally rode me like a racehorse, didn't have days off, didn't take vacation days. I mean, I had asked for them, but they didn't give them. So that installed a certain work ethic in me that maybe I had a little bit of it, but working at Del Amo and getting the opportunity to be there and have people trust me and believe in me gave me another opportunity to, we have a family business, a hardwood flooring business. And another thing, just never forget, it was like when I was working at Del Amo, we had a Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's conversation with my girlfriend at the time's brother, who was the owner of the company.
And I'm gonna pause them real quick. The funny part is, through this Del Amo years, we weren't close at the time. Not that we weren't like close. It's just I mean, he's down there, I'm out here.
Because I was working my fucking ass off.
Exactly. And then we fast forward to his girlfriend. Well, his girlfriend I went to high school with.
Oh, wow.
And I
you know this?
him just as long, huh?
Did you know that?
No, we didn't know that.
Okay.
I didn't know until I saw him one day and they came. I'm like, Missy?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Like wild.
Yeah, it's weird how the world works and how, connections that you maybe made 10, 15, 20 years ago come back in full force,
Yeah.
But, just having the conversations with my brother-in-law and finally to the point where after the New Year's conversation, he's like, all right, I'm done listening to you. Just come on over and let's come to my house and we'll talk about, maybe working for me. So I went to his house and kind of set up a program. At this point, they were just doing commercial flooring only. There wasn't really a residential presence. And
like
so
high-end wood flooring.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Wood flooring.
It was high-end for commercial too, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, he did all types of retail, all the Wolfgang Puck restaurants, the Microsoft stores, all, Abercrombie Fitch. Not like I've ever shopped there, but
What are you talking about? Yeah. Who's that showing over there?
But in all honesty, they were a higher end company in commercial, and I just through the teachings and practices at Del Amo that I learned how to just kind of come from nowhere and try to get good at something. I started working at Warren Christopher Hardwood Flooring, and we, the first 4 years, people don't really want to talk about, how hard it is or how long it takes to get something from ground up to somewhat making money, right?
Yeah.
So I left Del Amo making six figures in my 20s then working at Warren Christopher my first year, making 40 grand.
Damn.
So it was a huge setback. But my wife, stuck it through, and working at Warren Christopher and really implementing the things that I learned in the motorsports business and the work ethic and the things that I was taught. We work our butts off. My wife and I worked together. She was working in commercial at the time, and then we ended up. Now she went from commercial to residential. At that time, I think we had 5 or 6 installers that were working for us because we manufacture and install all of our own products.
Nice.
To now, fast forward, January would be 12 years that I've been doing this now, right?
Wow.
So 12 years in the making, first 4 years eating dog shit. Nobody wants to see that, but knocking on doors just the same as I started out with Sean in the mobile detailing business.
Because it wasn't like you had residential there already. You had to go build on it. You had to start on it, and you're like, where do we start? So with high-end Florida residential, being down in Costa Mesa, you go towards the beach.
100%.
For sure. Yeah, you go to the richer areas, and
it was just hearing no after no after no. Just the same in the detail business. I mean, I remember, just to get a little off subject, but switch it up. Back in the day, I used to go, different houses or different buildings and go try to wash people's cars. Where I used to go to Troy Lee's house, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
It took me 10 times to the point where his wife at the time and him, he said, "All right, just let him wash our cars."
Fine,
right?
whatever.
And so it was that kind of nonstop, like not accepting no for an answer. And there was companies I work with now that I worked maybe going there 3-4 days a week, and they just say no, 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 to the point where they're like, "All right, fine, you could bid this job for us, Jesse." Right. And now, fast forward 12 years of me being in the wood flooring business, my wife and I are partners in the company.
Nice, man.
We went from $500,000 in sales, no real residential presence, to this past year we did $11.5 million in sales just in residential flooring.
Residential.
Yeah. So, and then what I really pride myself on is, now we have 55 guys in the field. We got 10 people at the warehouse, 6 people at the showroom. And right now at the point in my life, I'm just really stoked on being able to have such great teams around me, right?
But you have to build those teams, and you have to be a natural born leader too, to be able to manage that team, put it together. And the team needs a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I'm not a natural born leader. I don't think anybody is a natural born leader.
True.
It's
you learn it
100%. It's the people that train you or teach you or see something in you.
Who you surround yourself with, man.
100%.
Always.
100%. And so now, we're having a good time in the hardwood flooring business. We have great customers, great clients from referrals to our niche businesses, working with builders, architects, and designers.
Yeah.
And, doing what you say what you do, right? That's really what got us from, starting at the bottom to being one of the biggest wood flooring companies in the Western United States.
Well, and you would think at that point, you're like, done, made it, success.
We got a great business, it's running great.
Life. And
no, you got to add more on.
It's like, no,
you can't stop.
know what? I'm not stressed enough. I don't have enough on my plate. Let me do some more. So then you started out. So you capitalized on the wood flooring side, right?
Yeah.
And you teamed up with what's her name? What's your flooring?
My friend Christina from HGTV. We started.
She was with what? The Tarek. And
exactly.
Oh, cool, nice. Yeah,
Flipper Flop.
So, at the time, years ago, I was on the show Flipper Flop.
Nice.
I do remember that. Your Costa Mesa house was built on there. I remember that.
So the original show Flipper Flop, they would come to the showroom and film, and I was able to create a great relationship with Christina, and then we remodeled our house in Costa Mesa a few years ago, and she's like, "Hey, I have this new show, Christina on the Coast," and I was like, "Oh, we're remodeling our house. Let's put you guys on it." All right, let's do it. So we ended up remodeling our house, and we were on her show on HGTV during that remodel.
Rad.
And then the relationship that I just built with Christina, and she's in multiple TV shows, and now has her own production team and her own production company.
Yeah,
right?
now she produces her own shows.
So then we had an opportunity with her. She always, we talked about doing a flooring line for her, something that was affordable, right?
Yeah.
Because our niche business in Warren
Really
Christopher is like a high end, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're kind of in a bubble in the Newport area, let alone like Southern California.
Yeah.
So years in the making, we finally teamed up with one of my buddies and started the Christina collection, which is a flooring line that we started a year and a half ago.
Smart.
Yeah. So, but the cool part is it's affordable, right?
Yeah.
It's at a great price point. It's a great product. Her and I were literally at her kitchen counter a year and a half ago, picking out the colors of what we were going to release for this product.
And you guys are actually getting the flooring made then?
Yeah, so
specifically for that, for
the Christina collection. And of course, just like, you know, every other business, you start out from scratch. Nobody knows who you are.
Of course.
You know, you got to build a great product and provide a great customer service.
That's awesome.
And so now, fast forward a year and a half later, we have over 1,400 retailers across the U.S. carrying the Christina collection. We have 150 retailers in Canada, and then we're going into South America this year. So
this guy's like, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, right.
But the thing is, he lives the life, and he doesn't see that. Like when you're living your own life, like even with Gibson, you don't understand like what Gibson is now, like because you've been there from day one. It's like, oh, I'm just living my life and
this
doing
isn't
what I
even
do.
the complete story, but like I'm so fucking pumped for him.
No, it's incredible, man.
So
That's
rad, and I mean his wife busts her ass too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like. They both are just extremely hardworking, take business serious.
Yeah.
But what they've both done to this point is they didn't like just jump into something and be like, well, and this is my career.
Yeah.
Right? Everything was a learning curve. It was like college, right? Like life is almost like school, right?
Dude, it
they
is.
should be like
There's no doubt.
schools, we're gonna go learn everything. No, life is your school, and you have steps and different classes along the way that teach you. And as long as you're open to learn, you're gonna be prepared for life through every step of the way. But if you feel like you ever just got complacent and made it, well, then you stalled out, man. That's where you're at. Like, you stopped learning.
And I think it was an easier step with being in the flooring business and learning as much as I did. I mean, I was submerged in it. I mean, working 15-hour days every day, learning as much as I could about the products, learning as much as I could about the installation practices and how we did things from the inner workings, not just being a sales guy, right?
Yeah.
Just knowing like everything you could know, and then implementing that, and then having really good customer service. So it was a little bit of an easier step going from, you know, the flooring business to then opening up another flooring business, right?
Was it almost harder for you at Del Amo to learn, like when you jumped into Del Amo, like was it harder for you to learn the sale process there than it was when you started the flooring business?
I think in relationship to like the Del Amo experience, you know, for me riding dirt bikes as a kid and growing up in motorsports and
knew that already,
having
kind
buddies
of.
that raced, you know, dirt tracks at a young age.
Yeah.
And it was something that I was passionate about, right?
Okay.
But then at the same time, I would go into Del Amo and read up on all the new products and understand what we were doing and understanding the new products, you know, the new YZ450 compared to, you know, the old
CR,
one, or whatever the case may be.
It was
you know.
4 pounds lighter.
Yeah,
and
it's
this
got
and
aluminum
that.
frame. It's got this.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, you were able to learn and then obviously
Learn how to sell it.
Work with the client to show them the new benefits of the new products rather than, hey, you got a 5-year-old bike. Well, dude, these are all the new things that just came out on why you'd want to maybe step up to the new one.
These are maybe the things you don't like about this bike, and this is why you're going to like this bike. So here's your
100%.
solution.
Cool. 100%. And then, you know, learning.
Same with the flooring.
Same with the flooring. You know, learning as much as I could and being the best at it. I mean, or at least trying to be the best at what I could provide. Then in the Christina collection, you know, our goal was to have the best product in that product range of SPC stone plastic composite flooring, right? So then from that point, I would have never imagined that we'd have 1,400 dealers in a year and a half.
What?
And, you know, throughout the U.S.
That's wild.
so many.
Now, does that go through distribution?
Yeah, so we have 3 of the largest flooring distributors in the United States through my buddy Mikey that set up everything on that end. You know, I was involved in getting Christina on board and kind of that networking, connecting.
You guys were the tripod, a strong tripod, and you all
need that though,
stood
man.
strong.
100%.
Yeah, it's freaking rad.
Is it all made here in the U.S. or is it kind of made everywhere?
So all of our products on the Warren Christopher side is made. We manufacture our own products. We bring our material in from Europe, and then we make colors, textures, etc. for the client, whatever their client
finish it
exactly.
Right.
And then the Christina collection, it's made in China. But you know, some people have an opinion about that. But the reality is, we have the best product in that space that it's also
in that
affordable.
price point too.
100%.
Well, that's the problem. You can't get certain things here for being affordable at all.
Well, and
let alone the best products.
And
you can
sometimes
get shit cheap here, but it's also cheap products.
Yeah.
And sometimes certain people don't need the best.
don't. No.
They just need that good quality product for
That's
for
gonna
what
last.
they're doing. There is a fit for everything.
There's a fit for everything,
Well, and
every price range.
Just like for our flooring business and Warren Christopher on that side, you know, we're kind of a niche business, but with the Christina collection, we were trying to really facilitate everyone's needs across the U.S., not just high end. You know, we love our high end customers. We love to be a part of these $20-30 million homes that are just unreal. I get to walk into them every single day.
So unreal, dude.
It's like you're a dick.
But then at the same time, like, you know, how cool is it to have a family in, you know, Wisconsin put a flooring product that you're a part of in their 1,800 square foot house, and they're super pumped about it.
They're probably more pumped because got Christina. There's a brand behind it.
100%.
They're more pumped than the guy that put it in his fucking $20 million home.
He doesn't even know. That guy doesn't know.
100%. You're
You know
hitting
what
on that,
happened,
Sean. No question.
Those
is
house,
so
dude, like
rad.
Pelican Crest, all those houses out there are insane, man.
Well,
I remember growing up.
It was also about him. Is like, I mean, we all drive by PCH wondering what's on the other side of those fences,
Yes.
what the views are. And he's in
inside
the
of
homes,
them.
tearing them up, working on them.
But again, it's getting back to people trusting you, right? I mean,
absolutely.
I get the opportunity to be a part of some amazing homes. We've done a lot of, you know, baseball players, football players. We've done some, you know, big name people that I did Drake's house, for instance, in Hidden Hills. Cool stuff, right? But at the same time now, I think it's much more fulfilling knowing that, like, even in this other flooring company, that we're across the nation and in homes where people could just go buy the product and be super pumped about it. And that's getting back to everything that we're talking about, is having a great product and then putting out a great customer service.
Well, awesome. And I mean, you really have no choice but to have solid customer service when you're dealing with the high-end customers that you're dealing with too.
Yeah.
Like, there's, your service probably has to go above and beyond anything that probably most people are used to, because that client expects it, demands it, and
You got to be there for them
you gotta
24/7.
be there at all time. Be like, you got to answer that call at fucking midnight if they're calling.
When we're out in Glamis and a customer calls you on a Saturday at 7 p.m., you better answer the phone
better
call.
answer the
Regardless
yeah.
of how hungover you are,
Yeah.
how tired you are, you pick that shit up.
100%.
You're always working, man.
100. I mean, but I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from, I personally, I still feel every day like I'm a nobody. You know, we have a great team of people in the different businesses that I'm a part of, and it's the team that brings everything together. It's not just the individual.
So he's had the ability to identify opportunities. Everybody has opportunities presented to them, right? And not everybody takes them. There's obviously risk
have
involved
to
with
take them.
everything,
Yep.
but you have to be able to make a
decision to
calculated
take them or
risk
not, yeah. Yep.
and move forward with it. I thought he was out of his freaking mind when he's talking about he's going to then open up a restaurant. First off, he's like, hey, I'm going to move to Corona, sell my house, buy this house. I'm going to then take this pigeon house and gut it. Also, at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and start this restaurant.
Yeah.
And then we have our other business that him and I are working on that we're starting. And he's got so much going on. He's so stressed that he decides, like, you know what? I'm not drinking. I'm not doing anything until I reach these goals.
Yep.
And
That's
for what, like a year or so?
Yeah, it was a year. I mean, I had 3 goals in mind.
It wasn't like he had a drinking problem or anything, but just
No,
like
just still, you want to.
he wanted to make in
Concentrate.
his mind,
Yep.
like I think when you do something like that, you just get your mindset like, this is serious. I'm serious. We're gonna do this. Failure's not an option.
100%.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, at that time, I had some goals. I mean, like you said, we moved to Corona. We were living in our motorhome in our driveway for 5 months. The house is completely gutted. My daughter, the dogs, everybody in the
Well, you
motorhome.
mentioned this. I mean, they're living in a nice motorhome
Yeah.
in their driveway, but you can't dump your motorhome in your driveway.
No,
dude,
dude,
so
no.
they're like showering in one of the made-up bathrooms or
Yeah.
restrooms, and they're just literally just sleeping in.
Hey, you made it happen, man.
And at that same time, my business partner David and I decided to open up the restaurant, and talk about just crazy, right place, right time. Found a great location in the city of Corona, and we were under construction on the house at the same time we're under construction at the restaurant.
But he's not like,
Just
hey,
back and
he's not like, we're
forth.
going to open up a taco shop or a donut shop. We're
No,
going to
a
open up a
sushi
sushi
restaurant.
Like, what the-
Did you know about sushi before going into this?
He knew he liked it.
Well, yeah, I love sushi.
Yeah, honestly, just being a fan of eating sushi, right? Just like everybody, most everybody I know likes to go eat sushi, right?
Absolutely,
Have
yeah.
a couple beers, go grab some
It's
good food.
it's a good time, it's a good vibe.
Well, we
usually.
were down at his house one time, and they order in this sushi, pick it up, bring it down, and we're like, wow. We're in the Costa Mesa, like, wow, that is bomb. What is he? He's like, ETC. I'm like etc. He's like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't think anything of it, and his mind just working and going throughout the years and made it happen, and boom, there's an ETC sushi. Put the right people in place again, like he did with the flooring,
Yep.
and now has a popping restaurant in Corona. It's the it's probably they serve the best drinks out of
Yeah.
anywhere. I mean, I don't know what the radius would be. You have to get deep into Orange County to really have something
get to that
comparable to
spot,
the
yeah.
drinks, the appetizers, and then the quality of the sushi. Like,
Yeah.
if you're big into sushi, I mean, I like sushi, but I'm not like some mega sushi connoisseur.
like you
or
understand.
sushi's sushi. But when you go from like what the sushi used to be to what it is there, you're like,
Oh, it's so good.
fuck you, Jesse.
And when you go when you go somewhere else, it's not as good. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it just goes to show, man. I didn't know anything about the restaurant business. I didn't know anything about sushi besides the fact that I liked it, right?
Yeah.
So getting an opportunity and actually more or less creating the opportunity with my buddy David, you know, we started a restaurant from the ground up. It was a mathnasium tutoring center prior, right? So
Oh, wow.
it was an empty shell.
Yeah.
And we built the whole restaurant, designed it, built it.
God.
And now, you know, like, again, taking pride in what we've done and we have 35 employees there. We have a great team, and the goal, again, you know, provide great products and great customer service. That's our goal with all the different businesses that we have or that we're a part of. And at the same time, getting the opportunity to be able to please people, you know, get people in the door and they're pumped when they're leaving. Just like any business, the motorsports business, when I started at Lambo, Warren Christopher, the flooring business, you know, Christina collection. Now, you know, the sushi restaurant, when people come in, they're pumped. They get good products. They get good service. They leave. You know, we have a full bar. So we have, you know, like Sean said, specialty cocktails. But again, just having great products and creating a good environment, no matter what you're doing. Anybody could do that in whatever business that they're a part of. It just takes time and it takes effort.
Now, how come when you walk into the sushi, it's not like all the other sushi places where the chefs in the back like yell? So what does they yell? Hey, sushi, sushi. Did you tell them not to do that?
I mean, we do it every once in a while, but at the same time, you know, we have 60 plus people there typically on any given night. So it's
Bro, keep your head down to work.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's there having a good time, but you know, for the sushi restaurant, it's something that was just like out of nowhere. I mean, I would have never imagined in a million years that I'd open up a restaurant. And you know, you have the opportunity in whatever you're doing, and if you take advantage of the opportunity and see, you know, an opportunity, go for it. That's, I mean, honestly, a suggestion to anybody listening. Again, I'm a nobody, and at the same time, when you have a goal or you have certain things in mind that you want to do, just go for it.
It's crazy, man. I know it's funny. We just met today, but I know you're a good person. I know you have a lot of friends, because when you opened that restaurant, I had probably 50, 60 people on my Instagram just blowing your shit up, blowing it up. We're going here tonight, grand opening night, grand opening night. And I saw Sean. I was like, oh, Sean too. But these guys are posting, these guys are posting, these guys are posting. I'm like, what is this place? I gotta go now. Like, and I haven't been yet, but I'm gonna go. I promise. I'm in Rancho Cucamonga, okay? I haven't gone yet, but I'm definitely gonna go. I'm really excited for it. But that tells you, as the type of person you are, is people like you and you are a good person because people are blowing you up before it even happens.
And even at the same time, like with everything that we do, like all of my buddies, we all go to Glamis, we all have our families, all the kids grew up together. You know, if somebody's selling a car and somebody posted on an Instagram, all 30 of us will post it on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So it's the truth, right? So like,
it's your network, man.
100%. And I mean, I don't want to say the network is your net worth, but really it's the network that you surround yourself with, and that you're only as good as the friends around you. And it just so happens that over the years, you know, like Sean and I have known each other almost 22 years, from me walking in his shop and trying to wash his cars to now fast forward 22 years later, I'm 40 years old, and the people that I surround myself with, you know, when we go to the lake, we go to Glamis, we go to all these different places, such a solid crew, such a great group of people. We all have such a good time, you know, no drama, no bullshit. And I think that's really important for people that are, you know, maybe listening or just in general, to just surround yourself with good people. And 9 times out of 10, good things will come about.
It's true, man. I agree with you 110%. But if you surround yourself with bad people, it's not going to be good.
You're going to be a piece of shit.
You are.
I mean, no question. And now the point I'm at in our life with my wife and I, and we just, again, work our butts off, continue to work our butts off every single day and create new opportunities daily. I mean, if there's something that came up tomorrow and I didn't know anything about it, but it was a great opportunity, and maybe if it was worth the risk, I would go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Is there a secret menu at this ETC that we're not aware of yet?
Oh, like the In-N-Out menu?
Oh, yeah. I'm just wondering. Here we go again.
There is some really cool stuff that we have. Our entire menu, we have sushi and Thai, but at the same time, there are some secret menu stuff. You'll just have to come down there and check it out to get it, though.
So for people, how do they follow along with your sushi restaurant?
We're ETC Sushi and Thai Bites. On Instagram, it's ETC Sushi Corona.
Cool.
Do you want them to follow you personally too? I mean,
sure. Jesse _Kovach, Kovach.
Yeah. Jesse's always out there. He's posting all this cool stuff. He's posted a lot of videos from Warren Christopher, two of the amazing homes.
So sick,
Warren
man.
Christopher. Mary Alice.
Yes.
What a crazy story that is.
Mary
I
Alice
am
is
just hearing everything from Sean the past year, I would say. And I know you guys have been working on for 3 years now. But dude, how did you guys got to talk about this a little bit? Like, we haven't talked about much on the podcast. Just give us a little like tidbits of it. Like, I know it's not really announced yet. It's kind of announced.
Well, I could speak on this. So back in the day when we were in literally March of 2020, we're in Lake Havasu, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody's been to Lake Havasu that listens to this. We're literally at the sandbar. Talk about opportunity.
Yeah.
And Sean says, "Hey, dude, I got this guy. He wants to give us $30,000 a month for a back building space." I said, $30,000 a month for that 2,000 square foot break room? What are they doing?
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, the Corona is allowing this. It's a new wave of things going on. Blah 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 blah." And I said, "Dude, Sean," I looked at him. I said, "Sean, give me 2 months. I'll put together a team, and rather than you just renting the space out, we'll do it together."
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it went.
Insane.
And just literally. We're
Genius.
outworking or trying to outwork all of the competitors in that business. And
that was the thing. So going through it, we weren't, I don't want to say it's not smart enough, but we didn't have enough experience in the industry to understand how much of a challenge and how much of an uphill battle it was going to be from the beginning.
And you can't just open a dispensary.
But what we did tell each other, and all we did tell each other was, we're going to outwork everyone.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And so fast forward through the years of us just being eager, like people saying, wait, eager, wait.
Like, we're going to do this.
Eager. When we finally went to the selection process of getting it all done, we all stood back and went like, we did everything we possibly could.
Yep.
Like, there's no what ifs.
Yeah.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
We should have done this. Yeah. There's nothing.
And then, the quick story, once we get this thing operating, you guys, if you're familiar with where Gibson is, you can see the buildings. It's
off the 15 and 91 freeway.
It's massively under construction.
Yeah.
Walls are being knocked down. We're maybe a couple months out from it. But fast forward to that selection process, we beat out 51 of the largest companies through a selection process, through a scoring process, where we're all being scored on the same thing, being graded on interviews, and 350-page like presentations and packets. Where one like not dotted I could be the be all game all of it, and we got 7 out of 52 people.
Yep.
And they selected 14 people total? 12 people.
And it's getting back to like what Sean said. I mean, literally, our goal was one thing and one thing only: to get this place open. And the only way to do that was to get a license.
Yeah.
You have the best companies in California going for this,
trying to bid for it.
For this space to be able to put their whatever business that they have. And there's so many dispensaries out there.
Yeah.
They wanted to be in Corona.
And we couldn't beat them at spending more money than them. No. That's all they were. But most of them were just spending as much money as we can. And we're having these conversations like, should we do that? Do we do that? We're like, well, we can't do that because we don't have that money to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, just work and network. We networked hard.
Yeah.
We communicated hard. We worked hard. We jumped on stuff. And there wasn't there was never a thing like, should we do that or should we not do that? Well, if we can do it, let's do it.
Yep.
We did everything we could. And I mean, guys, I would like to say within a year, I would say give us 2 years at the most, and we will be the largest in Southern California.
And I think it's coming back, and I agree with you, Sean. It's coming back to like also having a purpose, right? So from the get-go, with opening up this business, or at least trying to open up the business, my purpose, Sean's purpose, our team was always from a wellness side too.
100%.
There's a lot of people that use cannabis products for so many good reasons.
Yep.
From CBD to, cannabis, other cannabis products. And for us, it was truly on a wellness side.
Yeah.
There's companies out there. I mean, everybody knows these big companies, and companies make a lot of money during this process. At the same time, for us, it was definitely a different approach. I think that probably helped us in the scoring process with the city
awesome.
as well.
Good.
Was, hey, we're trying to open this, but we are truly trying to open this from a wellness side, not just a money making side.
Exactly.
And
not just a selling cannabis side.
100%.
Well, and there's room for improvement. Okay, you look at the automotive industry.
Yeah.
How did the big three or whatever leave room for someone like Tesla to come in?
Yeah.
Why didn't they do it? And that's because they were too focused on what they have been doing, not looking ahead to what
That's
they could
true.
do.
Yep.
We're coming in like that, focused on what had been done and what can be done.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it. And it's, wellness is huge. Mary Alice, that's my grandma. Right? She was huge into wellness. She used CBD products. She lived to 96 years old. Like, an amazing woman, and that's what we're focusing on, like her way of life, just healthy, strong living, wellness side. The wellness aspect is huge. I mean, just last night, I don't partake in the smoking of it. I mean, it's just too strong for me now. I can't even do it. But even if I just wanted to, I just couldn't do it. But CBD, the last episode, talking about my neck and stuff, putting it on, there's
It's
huge
helps.
benefits. My
Yes, there's
dad,
huge
prostate
benefits,
cancer, using CBD, everything. I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
there's
For everything, man. For everything.
I hate to say it, I don't want to get political or any of this stuff, but with pharmaceutical companies and stuff,
Oh, dude.
man, I don't trust them. I don't.
No.
I trust the CBD way more than I trust anything that they're telling me I need to be taking.
And I think it was a learning lesson the past couple of years, like Sean saying, there's businesses that are out there for different reasons. And it makes me feel even that much better being in the process of opening up a legal cannabis dispensary and truly looking at this from the wellness side, and knowing that we are going to be providing products that are going to help people. Not just providing products people go out there, they smoke, they get stoned, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, there's the other 50% plus of those customers are there to seek the benefits of those products.
To help them.
So our industries that you and I have grown up selling stuff to what people want, people's wants, right? We've sold and we've created solutions for their wants.
That's true. You have, but
we're now creating solutions for their needs,
Yes.
which is. I can't wait. It should be so rewarding.
It honestly makes me feel so good about this project that Sean and I have been a part of now for almost 3 years. In March will be 3 years, right? That we just put it out in the air, talked about it, and
he's huge on manifesting
100%.
stuff.
Dude, no, dude, that's what it's all
you're
about,
manifesting,
though.
dude. We gotta just work hard. He's like, no, put it out there.
And you continuously
It's true.
talk about it, about it. And, now when we're talking about the wellness side, it's the truth. I mean, we're super pumped. I think about it every single day on how many customers are we going to be able to help every day. That's a totally different way to think about it.
Yep.
And when you think about that and you truly believe that in your heart and soul, everything else comes.
It does.
But when you're helping people in whatever business, it doesn't matter. What Sean and I are doing or what we're doing, in the different businesses that I'm a part of. It's truly, people have wants and needs, right? But when you can facilitate their wants and needs and create a product for them, they will buy it.
They will.
And for us, totally crazy. It's like owning a restaurant. I've never been a part of a restaurant business to now, us being in a very competitive market and opening up a cannabis dispensary. I think the different practices that like Sean and I have learned, like I said before, back in the Lambo days in the motorsports business, to fast forward to where we are now, we're able to, I think, like Sean said too, outwork everybody, but do it with purpose.
Yeah.
And that is a major difference compared to people that just go work or go do something because they're going to make money. It's a totally different ball game when you're truly doing something with purpose.
Yeah. And guys, I hear people say like, "Oh, word of mouth isn't as valuable anymore because of the internet." Everything.
That's
word of mouth is so much more valuable now than it ever was before
because of internet.
Everyone has a larger voice now.
Yep.
Customer service is massive.
Yeah.
And just like you've built your life off of servicing your customers.
Absolutely.
And that's
we were talking. I had a conversation the other day. I was like, customer service nowadays is so horrible. It just went down the drain as of I'd say 2000 when COVID hit. It's like customer service was so bad. But nowadays, when you get good service, you really appreciate it.
100%.
You really freaking appreciate that good customer service.
It had, I think it had to go through it because like prior to COVID, everyone had the Amazon mentality. I wanted it yesterday. Why isn't it here yesterday? Like, and then no one had a choice but to wait for it through COVID. I think it reset kind of things back to where it was, because everyone struggled. All businesses struggled through COVID trying to service their customers. Couldn't get the material, couldn't give the right answers. And some people are going to continue to try and move forward with it and be stronger. And some people are going to be complacent to where they're at.
I mean, at the same time, too, I mean, look at us. We were 17 months into construction before we opened the restaurant, had all these hangups right in the middle of what people would call COVID,
the worst time ever to fucking open a restaurant.
But any building material?
But then at the same time, like, again, getting back to purpose, the city of Corona, where we live now, they lacked on good restaurants. They lacked on, not everybody wants to go to Chili's, even though, hey, I'm not dogging it. It's all good. But at the same time, you think about doing something for a community benefit or with purpose. I wanted to be able to create a great restaurant for the community and have great people work there.
It's funny, because I was going to say that too, that he had options to put it in higher traffic areas or malls or somewhere like that, like a large chain restaurant would go, but it would have then lost its focus and lost its feeling of being that community one. Because the thing is, it's not going to be successful unless the community supports it too. 100%. And you built it for the community because the community needed it and they wanted it. And it's right in the middle. It's not off the freeway. It's a trek to get to, but it's in the heart of Corona.
That's cool.
And that's what's going to make it last, man. That's what gave you legs.
And at the same time, it's so crazy. I think to think about back in the day, working at a motorsports dealership or having a GoPed shop or washing people's cars. I mean, literally, I started from washing people's cars to, but I did it the best that I possibly could. Yeah. That's where I went from washing cars to now I'm going washing Sean's vehicles that are going to SEMA, and when they get there, they're spotless.
Stepping stones.
The little things, and it takes a long time to get there, and sometimes it takes a short amount. For me, I'd rather take the long route every time and learn as much as possible.
I agree.
Didn't one of your trailers get stolen one time also?
Yeah.
And then we gave you a jet ski trailer or something to get it going? Because, I mean,
that's awesome.
Even when you're sitting there going through and then you get knocked down, you got to get back up.
And I was, 19 at that time?
Yeah.
I had my detail trailer stolen.
Your whole life.
Her exactly, man.
Your whole life.
And then Sean's dad, gave me an old Sea-Doo trailer.
That's awesome.
That, literally, had the bunks on it.
Yeah, it works, dude, man.
Made it into a flatbed trailer, put all the equipment on there, started over from scratch. And, again, that's another thing, too. Don't give up. I think little things are always going to come about. That was, getting your business stolen right from under you really sucked, and it was a learning lesson to not give up.
Man.
I think a lot of people would have just said, this isn't for me, I'm done.
Yep, I'm done.
It's okay to feel heartache. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to be sad, but it's not okay to let that hold you down. You got to use that as motivation to move forward and keep your eye on the prize, stay positive, and keep going forward. Yep. All those bad things you're just learning experiences, and you have to learn from them.
It's crazy that, the way you're saying that. I've always said, there's a reason why the rear view is so small and the windshield's so big.
Yes, I like that.
Don't look back. Just look forward.
That's a good one.
That's the truth.
It is.
That is
super
good.
True. Well,
dude, this is awesome. Wow.
Jesse, thanks, man.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It was awesome to have you on here.
I mean, if anything, thank you guys for having me. I think the takeaway, I'm just so thankful and so grateful for everything that goes on a daily basis. But it takes little things, I'm thankful to breathe oxygen, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people are, thankful for their house or thankful for their kids or thankful for their cars or whatever. It's the little things that matter. And once you really start from thinking about the little things and being grateful for the little things, bigger things happen.
Dude. So true.
Bye, Jesse Kovach. There's a meme right there.
Just quote it, man.
Quote. We're gonna put that out there.
Dude,
that's gonna help us go viral now. Thanks for that one.
Oh, stop.
Stop. I love you, man.
Love
dude,
you too, bro.
Jesse, thank you, man. I'll put all of his information down below in the description so you guys can follow along with his adventures and businesses. Go eat
Get us some
damn
photos
sushi.
Of some of your Warren Christopher stuff. Some of the ETC. We'll throw it on YouTube.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Throw it on there.
It goes on
Absolutely.
YouTube. Hopefully, you can post this, and we'll get all the 100 people that always share all your stuff to share this to. Get us some more followers. I'll share it.
Thank you, brother.
I love it. Thank you, guys. All right, we're out. See ya.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah. Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say, I got him picking up the pieces.